Making headlines, President Dr. Mohammad Muiz congratulates President Donald J. Trump on his inauguration as the 47th President of the United States of America. Minister of Fisheries and Ocean Resources conducts a workshop to explore improvements to the anchored fish aggregating devices in the Maldives. And the government signs an agreement to hand over the construction of council secretariats on 55 islands to Malaysia's Hexta Global SDN BHD. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to OPSM News in English with me, Idham Naim. President Dr. Mohammad Muiz congratulates President Donald J. Trump on his inauguration as the 47th President of the United States of America, reaffirming the Maldives' commitment to advancing shared goals of regional peace, economic cooperation, and global security. In a letter addressed to President Trump, President Dr. Muiz highlighted that a small island nation in the Indian Ocean, the Maldives cherishes its diplomatic ties with the USA to advance shared goals for ensuring regional peace and prosperity. He expressed his wish to work with President Trump and his administration to achieve these shared goals for a more secure and safer global environment. President Dr. Muiz noted that this year commemorates 60 years of formal diplomatic ties between the two countries, and that this milestone signifies the strength of the partnership between the Maldives and the USA. He further emphasized that the Maldives values the mutual commitment to expand trade and economic cooperation, advance defense and security cooperation, and address global challenges to upholding democratic values, rule of law, and human rights. Concluding his letter, President Dr. Muiz wished President Trump a successful term in office as well as good health and well-being as he embarks on his official duties. President Dr. Muiz also posted a message of congratulations to President Trump on his official X account. Vice President Hussein Mohammad Latif congratulates James David Vance on being sworn in as the 50th Vice President of the United States of America. He reaffirmed the Maldives' commitment to strengthening economic, trade, and security ties while addressing global challenges through mutual collaboration. In a letter, the Vice President highlighted the trust and confidence that the American people have placed in President Donald J. Trump and Vice President Vance to lead them forward. He also expressed his readiness to work together to address common global challenges. He wished Vice President Vance success throughout his tenure for the benefit of the American people and the rest of the world. Highlighting the strategic cooperation between the Maldives and the USA, the Vice President conveyed the importance Maldives attaches to its relationship with the USA and expressed its commitment to advance cooperation in economic development, trade and investment, defense and security, as well as in addressing global challenges. The Vice President also posted a message of congratulations to Vice President Vance on his official X account. Minister of Fisheries and Ocean Resources conducts a workshop to explore improvements to the anchored fish aggregating devices AFADs in the Maldives. The design of the current AFADs used in the Maldives was developed 20 years ago. The designs are now outdated and prone to breakage, causing challenges to fishermen and incurring significant maintenance costs, according to the Ministry of Fisheries and Ocean Resources. During an official visit to Italy last year, the Minister of Fisheries and Ocean Resources, Ahmad Shyam, established an agreement with the Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, to bring changes to existing AFAD designs. As part of the project launch, the Fisheries Ministry conducted a workshop with relevant stakeholders aiming to evaluate existing AFAD designs and create advanced prototypes to promote sustainable fisheries. The main objective of the workshop is to evaluate the performance of existing AFADs and identifying the problems as well as identify the concerns of the stakeholders. Speaking at the workshop, the Fisheries Minister said the project will be the largest of its kind to be undertaken in the Maldives over the past 40 years. The redesigned AFADs will utilize modern technology to improve durability and efficiency. Under the newly launched project, 2 new designs will be developed and tested across 2 areas of the Maldives with technical and financial assistance from FAO. Currently, the Maldives utilizes 2 types of AFADs. This includes 65 AFADs for pole and line fishing and 26 AFADs for sports fishing. The government revises the relevant regulations to allow pole and line fishing near sports fish aggregating devices (FADs). Before the revision, pole and line fishing was banned from a mile around FADs placed for sports or recreational fishing. However, the government has now lifted the ban to allow both line and pole and line fishing near such FADs. However, the ban on sports and recreational fishing in a 3-mile radius of pole and line fishing FADs remains in place. The placement of fish aggregating devices (FADs) is a government-led initiative aimed at supporting and enhancing the welfare of fishermen. These FADs include both pole and line and sports FADs, providing valuable resources and opportunities for fishing communities. There are currently 80 FADs placed across different areas in the Maldives, consisting of 65 pole and line FADs and 15 sports FADs. However, to ensure the effectiveness of these FADs in aiding fishermen, certain regulations are in place. Activities such as sinking fish, capturing sharks, laying lines, and using pits as baits within 3 miles of FAD boundaries are prohibited by law. Additionally, damaging FADs or engaging in any activities that could harm their fishing potential are strictly prohibited and enforced. Government signs an agreement to hand over the construction of council secretariats on 55 islands to Malaysia's Hexta Global SDN BHD. Last February, while addressing residents of Makunutu, Hadal Atoll, the President announced that the construction of 50 island councils will be implemented simultaneously in alignment with the pledge. The construction contract was signed on a contractor finance basis by the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Cities, Local Government and Public Works, Dr. Fatmat Muna, and Ali Sharif, Managing Director of Hexta Maldives, representing its parent company. The signing ceremony was attended by the Minister of the Ministry of Cities and Local Government and Public Works, Adam Sharif Umar, and other government officials. When the Local Government Ministry opened the opportunity for local councils to apply for council reconstruction, the ministry deemed 102 councils of the applicants as eligible following assessments. Of these, the construction of 55 councils was awarded to Nexta to be completed within 2 years and 6 months. These new buildings will be designed to provide spacious and accessibility for councillors and administrative staff to carry out their work. The ministry's assessments found that 187 councils face significant space constraints and resource shortages. In addition to the 55 councils being constructed by Nexta Company, the government plans to rebuild an additional 50 council secretariats with assistance from the Chinese government. The government aims to rebuild all deteriorated council buildings within its current term. Managing Director of Fenaka Corporation Limited, Mohammad Najah, says the company can cut down on costs to minimize reliance on government funds to manage its operations. In an exclusive interview with PSM, the debt-laden company's new MD said the government was aiding efforts to minimize Fenaka's debt burden. However, Najah insisted that Fenaka cannot continue to rely on government bailouts and subsidies to fund its operations. He alluded to ongoing efforts to cut down on operational costs through reforms of the company's procurement policy. In addition to procurement, Najah said, Efforts are also underway to streamline human resources and recruitment policy in a bid to strengthen corporate governance. However, he was quick to insist that the efforts to structure governance would not lead to mass layoffs. According to Naja, Fenaka is also looking at ways to minimize its rather significant fuel costs. Naja said Fenaka's primary aim is to strengthen its operations, pay off debts and expand its services. Once achieved, Fenaka can finally become self-sufficient and complete the projects that have been stalled due to financial difficulties, he added. Poor management and unnecessary staff recruitment in successive governments had compounded the company's financial distress. President Donald Trump signs an executive order delaying by 75 days the enforcement of a ban of popular short video app TikTok that was slated to be shuttered on January 19th. The short video service used by 170 million Americans was briefly taken offline for US users on Saturday, hours before a law that said it must be sold by its Chinese owner, ByteDance, on national security grounds took effect on Sunday. US officials had said that under ByteDance, there was a risk of Americans' data being misused.
I may not do the deal or I may do the deal. TikTok is worthless. Worthless. If I don't approve it, it has to close. I learned that from the people that own it. If I don't do the deal, it's worthless, worth nothing. If I do the deal, it's worth maybe $1 trillion, $1 trillion. So if I do the deal I'm talking about doing it for the United States. If I do the deal for the United States, then I think we should get half. In other words, I think the U.S. should be entitled to get half of TikTok. And congratulations, TikTok has a good partner. And that would be worth, could be $500 billion or something. It's crazy. The numbers are crazy. But it's worthless if the president doesn't sign, then it's worthless. If the president does sign, it's worth maybe $1 trillion. So I think, like a joint venture, I think we would have a joint venture with the people from TikTok. We'll see what happens. I mean, that's one of many ideas I've had.
TikTok restored access on Sunday and thanked Trump for providing assurances to TikTok and its business partners that they would not face hefty fines to keep the app running. The app and website were operational on Monday, but TikTok was still not available for download in the Apple and Google app stores, suggesting the two companies were waiting for clear legal assurances. The debate over TikTok comes at a tense moment in US-China relations. Trump has said he intends to place tariffs on China, but has also indicated he hopes to have more direct contact with China's leader. US President Donald Trump wastes no time on the day he was sworn into a second term, using his inauguration parade to sign a number of far-reaching executive orders. After greeting the families of Israeli hostages on stage, Trump told his supporters gathered at Washington, D.C.'s Capitol, "One arena, we won, but now the work begins." Cheered by a crowd, Trump sat at a desk as he signed a series of executive orders in leather dossiers, the first steps in enacting a far-reaching agenda to expand America's territory, curb immigration, boost fossil fuel production, and roll back environmental regulations. He said he would sign more such orders when he reached the White House.
So we're going to sign executive orders. First, I'll revoke nearly 80 destructive and radical executive actions of the previous administration, one of the worst administrations in history. Maybe not one of them, the worst. Anybody that would allow millions of people to pour through our borders from jails, prisons, mental institutions, insane asylums. All over the world, they're emptying their prisons into our country. They're emptying their mental institutions into our country. It stops as of 1 o'clock this afternoon, okay? It stops. So I'm revoking nearly 80 destructive, radical executive actions of the previous administration. They'll all be null and void within about, what, 5 minutes? Is that them over there? 5 minutes? And next, to gain immediate control of the vast federal, out-of-control bureaucracy, I will implement an immediate regulation freeze which will stop Biden bureaucrats from continuing to regulate. Most of those bureaucrats are being fired. They're gone.
Earlier in the day, Trump 78 took the oath of office in the Capitol Rotunda, the symbol of a U.S. democracy that was invaded on January 6, 2021 by a mob of Trump supporters intent to reversing Trump's 2020 loss to Joe Biden. Marches to the U.S. ambassador's residence in Panama City to protest, as U.S. President Donald Trump mentioned again during his inauguration speech that he will seek to regain control of the Panama Canal. Protesters holding Panama flags and shouting slogans burned a U.S. flag in front of the ambassador's house. During his inauguration speech on Monday inside the rotunda of the U.S. Capitol, Trump repeated his intention to take back control of the Panama Canal, one of several foreign policy pronouncements that have caused consternation among U.S. allies. Back in December 2024, then President-elect Trump had raised the same threat about seizing control of the canal, an 82-kilometer artificial waterway connecting the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans that is a core international shipping route. During his inaugural speech, he also claimed once again that China was operating the canal, which is managed by the Panama Canal Authority, a Panamanian government agency. Panama marked in 2024 the 25th anniversary of the United States handover of its interoceanic canal. In 1977, former U.S. President Jimmy Carter signed the treaties that led to the vital waterway's eventual transfer on December 31, 1999. Barcelona coach Hansi Flick placed down a talk of his side lifting the Champions League trophy this year and said he was only focused on a winning clash at Benfica. Flick heaped praise on Liverpool, who are top of the Champions League table with a perfect 18 points, 3 ahead of second-placed Barca, followed by 6 teams on 13 points.
To win the Champions League, it's I think one of the difficult things in the world. So it's not easy. So we perform really good, but there are also big clubs who are doing really great. You know, when I see Liverpool, it's an unbelievable team. They are in every single match they perform very good, and they have a strong team. It's really unbelievable. Also the power of them. The coach did a great job, a really great job, and this is at the moment one of my favorite teams. Oh, this is our goal. So I think for every team, also for Benfica, it's to win. It's a big step. So also for us, and of course we want to do that because we want to run in the last 16.
The top 8 qualify automatically for the round of 16, and the next 16 teams meet in 2-legged playoffs for the right to join them. Benfica are currently 15th with 10 points. Former soccer player and UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador David Beckham and designer and philanthropist Diane von Furstenberg were honored at the World Economic Forum on Monday, January 20th evening.
in congratulating David
Beckham won Furstenberg, and Japanese architect and social activist Riken Yamamoto received the Crystal Award at a ceremony hosted by Hild Schwab, the chairperson and co-founder of Schwab Foundation for Social Entrepreneurship. The former British soccer star said it was an honor to receive the prize for his philanthropic work.
Hildy, thank you so much for your warm words, and thank you to the World Economic Forum for this award. I am deeply honoured to be recognised for my philanthropic work over the past 2 decades. Although I have to say work really isn't the right word for something which I find so rewarding and inspiring. I'm lucky enough to be a father of 3 boys and 1 beautiful girl. I want my daughter Harper to have the same opportunities as her brothers, and that should be the case for all girls everywhere. Being a girl shouldn't determine what you can do, where you can go, and who you can become. Today's 600 million adolescent girls are the largest generation of future leaders and innovators that the world has ever known. What an exciting prospect if we can unlock their potential and support their development.
The Belgian-born designer, who founded her New York City-based eponymous brand in 1972, said she always knew she wanted to be a woman in charge.
Growing up, I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew the kind of woman I wanted to become. I wanted to be a woman in charge. I became that woman by creating a simple little dress that embodied confidence. Because it was a dress, I was able to share that confidence with millions of women. 50 years later, that little dress is still a symbol of freedom, and my dedication to inspire and empower keeps on growing.
The World Economic Forum is held this week in Swiss ski resort Davos. That concludes news for now. Thank you for watching PSM News. Have a good day.